What's up guys, Dr. J here, Jason Lipoff, your trusty Team Beachbody coach. Wanted to discuss for a few minutes while I'm on the road about a type of objection that some of you guys might get through Shakeology and how to answer it. And that is the customers or coaches that have questions about the fact that their stomach doesn't agree with it, or it makes them, nauseous, or they go to the bathroom or whatever, and they can't handle it. So I know some people will just kind of argue with people back and forth, that, they still should be taking it and it's the best for them. And so here's a little tip. Whenever you're responding, you always want to take a step back and think of a response that can be replicated. So for instance, my instinct is to respond in a medical way because I have a medical background, except I need to oversimplify it. So what I do when someone throws an objection out at me is the first thing that I say is that my main goal is to inspire them to lead a healthy, fulfilling life. And my job is to be as positive a person as possible and to be there for them in whatever their goals are, not my goal. So whether my goal is for them to be on Shakeology, it doesn't make a difference. It has to do with what their goals are. So our job is to answer those kinds of questions in a safe manner, but at the same time saying, hey, listen, we care about you, and this is what we think. So I had somebody the other day, tell me, and they've got Crohn's disease, and as a coach, as a supporter, yes, you should be aware of the different inflammatory diseases that people might present, meaning if they ask you, look it up. All that means is, for something like Crohn's disease, is that the body produces abnormal inflammation in certain areas of the gut, of the stomach, or the intestines, or the colon. And so anything that's remotely different than that person's natural diet, or that's a little bit difficult to digest, where a normal person might get maybe a little bit of a bellyache or have a little bit of a difficult time processing it, this person, he or she, will have an extremely difficult time processing it. So think about what Shakeology is. Shakeology is 70 different ingredients, and a lot of ingredients that come from, rare parts around the world that are not really native to our regular diet. Now, have they been proven to do all the detox effect and regulate blood sugar levels? I mean, that's the point. The point is that from what the analysis shows from personal testimonials, whatever, is that this is what it does. It balances your nutrition by having a detox effect, and the fiber makes you feel fuller longer, and it regulates your blood sugar levels, all that stuff. So all those little ingredients, there's a chance, since your body's not used to it, that it won't react favorably. So you could get a stomachache. And depending on what you've been eating previous, just depends on how your stomach reacts. So if someone tries Shakeology, it didn't agree with me. Well, it's incumbent upon us to at least explain to them why. The best is to prepare them ahead of time and say that, listen, it may take some time. You may have to scale into a full scoop to slowly get your stomach ready. But for cases like, inflammatory bowel syndrome or Crohn's disease, or a lot of these, inflammatory responses that come completely out of your control, that person may not be able to handle Shakeology. And if they do, they'll really have to scale in a tiny amount and then a little bit more every day. So what happens if they can't take Shakeology? And well, then the answer is that, you can recommend some super, green shakes where they have to go to the grocery store and get all these ingredients separately at whatever levels that they think that they can. So that's kind of how I answer that and say, hey, listen, this is my recommendation. However, you never really know why it doesn't agree with them, but it does make sense that the more that their stomach is not used to including a bunch of new ingredients in, that would happen. Now, the other question that I get a lot is about lead. There's controversial studies about lead being in Shakeology. Be really careful there, because even though all those studies are complete, in my opinion, bogus, you want to be safe. And the truth is in anything that we eat, you never know. You never know, and one day you wake up and something comes up and this and that. So I would just be very professional when people talk about that, and just say that, the studies show that, doesn't support that it's of levels of any sort of toxicity, and it's normal levels found in rare occurring elements and items in the earth, which is why there is that trace lead content. So I think that's it. The point is that you want to make sure that your customers, your challengers, that they know that you care, that you're not trying to sell them Shakeology by all stretch of the imagination. And if you buy into Shakeology, and you think that it is, the end all be all. I mean, I've been taking it once, usually twice a day, every day, and I feel amazing. Well, it's easy to share it day in and day out. So, don't worry. There's a lot of customers out there and a lot of people to help. So, I think that, the moral of the story is, make sure that in the end, the point is that you care, and you guys will be just fine. All right, bye.